Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're all doing well and having a really great day. In this video, I am going to be reviewing the Mystic Miner server case. This is a 12 GPU server case for mining with graphics cards, and I will be putting 12 different cards in this case today, and we'll see what kind of hash rate and power consumption that we can achieve through this Mystic Miner case. So thank you to mysticmining.us for sending me this Mystic Miner V2. As some of you may know, that I have played with the Mystic Miner V1. This is the version 1 of their server case, and so there are new updates and efficiencies to the Mystic Miner V2, which I will go through later on in this video. So let's go ahead and open it up first. You can see there are a bunch of screws at the top here, and yeah, there's no screws on the side, so it's just one top cover here. I know on the Mystic Miner V1, which they don't sell anymore, it used to be one big cover piece that went all the way around the case. So this time in the V2, it's just one top cover case. And you guys may have noticed in the beginning that there is a little bit of damage here. That was from shipping. So that's not because of Mystic Miner, that was due to the shipping. This case is quite big, as you guys can see. Comparing it to maybe my X12 Ultras, my Octaminers, you can see that it is a little bit longer, it seems. But when I get the GPUs in this thing, I will put it on top. We can compare then. All right, guys, let me just quickly unscrew these screws and we'll take the top off. Okay. Oh, this is nicely padded inside. All right, here we got PCIe cables. We got a power cable. Looks like this is a C13 to C14 cable. So there's 12 PCIe slots. And let's just look at the model number here. This is a BTC 250 D3 10P version 1.02. Does look like it comes with the battery. So that's a good sign. It doesn't look like it has a M.2, an mSATA drive, so it looks like I'll have to put that in myself. Or, alternatively, I could do a SATA SSD. But one thing, does this have a SATA power cable? That's one thing I don't see here, so I don't think I'd be able to do a regular SSD. So I do have another spare mSATA drive that we can use, and we'll put Hive OS on there. But hey, that looks pretty nice. You guys can see, looks like this is like some sort of brace. Yeah, that's actually a good sign. Looks like we can raise the bar here so that it could just basically plant the GPUs when the GPUs are in the case. Okay, so we'll try that later. Awesome. All right, guys, so let me count all the PCIe cables. Be right back. Okay, so there are 12 PCIe strands, and each strand has dual 8 pins. So total, we have 24 PCIe 8 pins. All right, so that will be good for GPUs that have dual 8 pins. They said up to about 3080s that have the 8 pins. But if there are 3090s or maybe some GPUs that have the 3 8 pins, this is a 3080 with a 3 8 pin, then Mystic Mining said you can put another power supply in here, one of these. I actually have an example here. So you could slide it in, right? We got to take off this bar. You know what? Let me try that right now. Okay, I got the bar off, and let's try and just put this right here. Yeah, I guess it will just stay planted like this. I'm sure you could put another zap strap around it just to keep it level. And yeah, there you go. You could technically put another power supply like an HP server PSU. The power cable would come out from probably this side here as this 3300 watt power supply, which I forgot to mention, 3300 watts. All right, so not recommended to do 12 3090s on a single power supply. You'll have to add another one for sure, like an HP server PSU, and then have the breakout cables, PCIe cables go on to the other. If you had GPUs that needed 3 8-pins, right? Like this MSI Gaming X Trio and most of the other 3090s. I have a 3080 here that's 2 8-pins, so that would be good. Anyways guys, there are now 6 120mm fans instead of 5 on the Mystic Miner V1, so there is a bit more essentially airflow to be put through the GPUs, and actually the fans are orientated so that they are blowing out that way. Alright, so all the cold air would then come through this way, through the GPUs, and this would suck out all the hot air. So that's all well and good. Awesome stuff. Alright guys, let's get to it. Let me get my Hive OS SSD or mSATA disk right here, and then let me put in 12 graphics cards, which I'm gonna surprise you guys. I don't know which ones I'm gonna put in yet, but I'll definitely put some 3070s, 3080s, 580s. Alright, so let me do that right now. Take a look at that. I got 5 RX 580 8GB cards. I got 3 RTX non-LHR 3080s, and then 4 3070s non-LHRs. Look at that, that fits awesome. All right, so I found out a few things, and I did have an issue with the screws, okay? So it's these types of screws that go into the I/O bracket for the GPU. I wish the screws were these, all right, these types of screws. So, because the other ones that we're using are the motherboard screws, and they were a bit of a pain to get them in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's that screw right there, and not these style. I wish it was this style, as I dropped a few of those screws inside and I lost them, and I tried to thread one of these in. Bad idea to do that. All right, so there it is, but the GPU is stuck there, which is good for now. So don't do that. If you're gonna try and use different screws, use the screws that came with the Mystic Miner, and these screws are popular. All right, these are like the motherboard screws for your computer. You should have a bunch of those if you have them laying around. Anyways, I also found out there are fan filters. They were just on the case, lying on the floor like that. I took them out, and so depending on the orientation of how you have the fans, so they are exhausting right now, and Mystic Miner says that that is the best configuration for 2 fan or 3 fan style GPUs like these. If I had blower style fans or blower style GPUs, he said then to flip the fans around, and then these fan grills would work out perfect, right? They would go right there on this side. Well, actually, they would go on the fan grills like this, because the fan grills would then be flipped around on the outside, so that this would be intake instead of exhaust, right? So yeah, these fan grills, I'm essentially not going to be using them. I actually thought of maybe just putting the fan grills like this in front, and I could essentially do something like that. Yeah, this is an alternative as well, I guess, so that the dust doesn't go into your GPUs, because I have the fans exhausting that way. So that is a nice touch. That is a nice touch to have the fan filters. Anyways guys, let me put in the 8-pin PCIe cables for all the GPUs. Now I'm only going to put 1 for each of the 580s, because that's all we need for mining. All right, just the 1 8-pin. And then I do have the MSI Trio 3080 that requires 3. So I will be daisy chaining the other one probably from this 580 here, so that I can use 2 strands on this 3080. So anyways, you guys will see the PCIe strands in right now. Okay, they're all in, and I just realized something. If you did want to add another power supply, it would probably not fit. If you decide to put one of these HP server PSUs with a breakout board, it would not fit there. I tried to fit it like up here, and it would not fit. The only logical place where this will fit is like right here, like this. And the only way I can think of bolstering this server power supply is to the red bar. that goes across at the top of the GPUs, which let me put that red bar on right now and then we will turn it on. One sec. Okay, there we go. So this option is there, I guess. You know, you can makeshift, put a 1200 watt or 1500 watt or any server PSU just like this with a breakout board. If you had 12 3090s and you needed more power capacity or essentially more PCIe cables to bolster your 3090s, if you had all 3090s. Man, imagine if I can get 12 3090s in this Mystic Miner case. That would just be insane. Anyways, guys, that's it. Let's turn this thing on. I got it plugged in the wall here on the 3300 watt power supply. So let's go ahead. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it just turned on automatically. The motherboard, the B250 motherboard, I know that even with my other Octominers and other Mystic Miner, it will automatically turn on. You don't have to change any BIOS settings, and it should theoretically go into Hive OS, assuming you have Hive OS on your mSATA SSD disk. Okay, look at that, guys. I got the internet cable plugged in, and I'll probably take this out, and I'm going to put the Mystic Miner on top of there. Let me check if Hive OS can see this rig. Oh, there we go. Yes, we can see 12, yeah, looks like the 4 370s, 5 580s, and the 3 3080s. Yeah, we got 12 GPUs here. Perfect, showed up in Hive OS. That is awesome. This thing is, I love the red. Like, it just matches my colors, right? You guys know. I love these bars too. It's very, it has the similar feeling to my Octominer cases, the X12s and the X8s with the red bars here. Awesome, awesome. Oh, one thing. So this bar, since I put it on, right? Some of the GPUs I have here are not the same height. So this bar isn't quite stepping down on these two 3080s, some of the 3070s, because my 3080, this is the MSI Trio, is definitely is one of the highest GPUs here. The RX 580s, the Power Color Red Devils are also pretty high. So this bar is essentially for if you wanted to put the Mystic Miner vertical, then all the GPUs shouldn't theoretically sag because of the bar. So that's pretty cool. Alright guys, let me set my overclocks and flight sheet, and we will see exactly at the wall how much this Mystic Miner case is going to take. Okay, so I will be right back. Oh, I should turn off I have the other Mystic Miner on the same PDU, so I'm going to turn that off, and so we can see the exact power consumption with the Mystic Miner V2 with my GPUs. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so we got the Mystic Miner V2 mining. I got all the GPUs mining, dual mining Ethereum and TON in LOL Miner. Now, it looks like I got one of the 580s that says 81 degrees Celsius. Most of the 580s are a bit hot, but all of the NVIDIA cards are generally cool. So I think the 580s, they are running a lot more power because we are dual mining Ethereum and TON. So that actually does take a lot more power. And at the wall, that whole Mystic Miner V2 with all those 12 GPUs are taking about 2450 watts, 2450 watts at the wall. And you guys can see here, I placed the Mystic Miner V2 over here. My ambient temperature right now is roughly about 89 Fahrenheit, so it is a little bit hot in my basement. It is sunny outside, so temperatures are rising. I did take out the other Mystic Miner V1, as I'm going to be retiring this case. I'm going to be taking out the 3070 Ti's, and I'm going to be placing these into a Octominer X8 case. As you guys know, I bought a whole bunch of these, and so I'm transitioning to server cases, and slowly my other rigs too will go into server cases. Anyways guys, well, that's it. I think this Mystic Miner case is great. I guess my 580s are hot, but that's because we're dual mining. I'm probably going to change this whole rig to mining just Ethereum. I don't want to dual mine, as yeah, these things are getting hot. You know what, let me change the flight sheet to just Ethereum, and we should drop the power a lot. So let me see what the difference is. Alright, I got this rig mining Ethereum, and it is taking only about 1950 watts, 1960 watts. It was taking about 2450 before, but again, we're not dual mining Ethereum and TON anymore. TON takes a lot of power, so the temperatures have definitely dropped on, I guess, all the GPUs overall, which is a good sign. So you guys can see here, I'm getting 31 mega hash now on all the 580s. Power consumption is much lower, and yeah, we dropped power across the board now that we're just mining Ethereum. So temperatures have dropped. You can see here 63 degrees, it's no longer over 80. So yeah, the Mystic Miner case is great if you don't dual mine in a server case. I'm sure if I dual mined in my Octominers, they would get really hot as well if I had 580s in them. But the 30 series cards generally seem to be okay. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. This Mystic Miner case, I think, is awesome from mysticmining.us. And if you are thinking of ordering one, you don't need to order like 5 of them, like you know, Octominer has. Mystic Mining, you can just buy one, right? MOQ of 1. So for those that had an issue with trying to buy maybe 5 of the Octominers, right? If you couldn't buy 5 of them, because you know it's quite a pretty penny if you wanted to order 5 or 10. You know, Mystic Mining, they're based in the US, and if you go to their website, you can also see the parts ordering of, you know, just the motherboard if you want it, or just the power supply. If you check out their website, which again I'll have linked down below, you can see you can order the specific parts. But they should have now the Mystic Miner version 2 in stock. You guys can go check it out. And I guess I just want to end off this video with some pros and cons. Have a conclusion in this video of this server case. So I'm just going to talk about the cons first. So I have a couple things, and they're really, you know, it's not really a big deal, but just little tiny things, which it may not be a big issue. I have one thing regarding the air holes on the side of the case, and a little bit here, and on the other side as well, and on the power supply hole, and also the motherboard area here. There is a lot of airflow being sucked in through this way, and also through the power supply way here, and also these sides. So what that means, in my opinion, is that the air is not being concentrated fully through the GPUs, like this way. I can definitely feel air being sucked in this way, but there's also air being sucked in from the sides here. And so I don't know if that will affect the cooling, perhaps, because not all of the air is going through the GPUs in this side. And like I said, it's going through, you know, like the holes of the Mystic Miner here, like the motherboard area, and through the sides of it. So that's one thing I had a little bit of just a con. It may not be a big issue. Like I said, the GPUs are cool now because we are just mining Ethereum now, so that is good. Another con is the screws that I had on the GPUs. Screwing in the GPUs, the IO brackets onto this case, those little tiny computer case screws, which I talked about earlier, I don't really like those. I wish they were the bigger computer screws. They're a little bit easier to put in, and if you had bigger hands, you'd have a harder time trying to put those little tiny screws in versus the little bigger computer screws. But really, that's just a little tiny issue, not a very big deal. And really, that's it. Those are really only the 2 cons that I have. And so now, let's talk about the pros real quick. I really like the appearance of the Mystic Miner. I love the red. It fits my brand color. Maybe I should just go buy like 20 of these Mystic Miners. You guys should let me know. Let me know if I should just buy 12 of these, convert all my Octominers into these instead. just kidding. You guys know, I already bought like 20 of these X8 Ultras, which I love as well. But the Mystic Miner, you know, they have ability to add 12 graphics cards. I really like the high power capacity, 3300 watt, 18 AWG gauge cables, which is really nice. Also comes with the 14 gauge power cable, which I didn't use, but I do have it here. Okay, so I do have my own 14 gauge red cables, you know, because I just want the color red. But yeah, I love the power supply, is great. I love the positioning of everything. I love the 6 120mm fans now. So since they added another one, right? The first version, they only had 5 120 mil fans. Now that they have 6, and they also have the controller on this side, as well as the power supply that's no longer on that side, it's on this side of the Mystic Miner case, right, as you guys can see. So the positioning is much better. I noticed that this Mystic Miner case is a little bit longer than the first generation that they had here. And another pro that I liked is the fan filters. That's a nice touch, as well as the screws that they changed, as well as the panels in order to take it off. It's actually much stronger, much better now versus the other the Mystic Miner V1. They had this like huge panel which had the sides attached to it as well, right? So it was kind of awkward trying to get the case out. And again, they were also using the small little computer screws, the similar ones that were for the GPUs. So that was not as strong and nice as these bigger ones now for the top of the panel and also the sidebar. I really like the bar that goes across the GPUs. That's also a nice touch. They didn't have that on the Mystic Miner V1. So yeah, you can put this vertical if you wanted. And I'm personally not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it horizontal like this, because this thing is really heavy when you have all of the GPUs in it. I mean, same thing with the Octominer. When you put 12 GPUs, it gets pretty hefty. But I think that's it, guys. That's all I want to talk about. Please let me know your thoughts, and yeah, all that good stuff. Check mysticmining.us, link down below if you guys are interested in this case. Available and shipping in the USA. So Mystic Mining, thank you guys so much for sending this Mystic Miner to me. This is awesome. I will definitely be using this, but I'm also going to be retiring my Mystic Miner V1. It's time for me to take these out. I'm going to put these in another server case, which you guys will see another video of that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.